Of the Adoption Roadmap with Rebecca Greenspan, founder and CEO of RG Adoption Consulting. We are going to be talking about who knows what. I have no clue. Hi. We'll just say hi to people, see if anybody has questions regarding adoption today, anything domestic infant adoption. If it's on your mind, ask, because I'm coming here with no agenda today. Let's see, what can I tell you? We just had our virtual play date. I was in Toronto, for all y'all who care about what I'm doing in my life. I was in Toronto for a family wedding, no kids. It was so much fun. So much fun. Dancing and just celebrating and hugging. And my family loves to be together, which is a blessing because I know not all families are like that. So when we get together, it's a love fest, which is beautiful. So I did that. And on my way back, I had no problems with flights. Thank goodness. On my way back, I got my global entry. So, I'm going to be going to Israel at the end of the year, right after Thanksgiving. So I'm all set with my global entry for that, which is great. And coming up, I have a bar mitzvah in Chicago, a bar mitzvah in New York, and an adoption conference in Daytona. Lots of travel this year, and it feels really good. So if you are with me, if you're joining me, tell me who you are, where you're from, how adoption plays into your life, where you are in your journey. I'm a mom, a single mom of an 11-year-old, and I learned something today. 11-year-olds, 11 and 12, their brain is developing at the rate that it did when they were a toddler. So I guess your brain develops at different rates during different times. When you're a toddler, your brain is growing so much and you're learning all these things and all the things. And then it slows down a little bit. And then these preteen years, his brain is developing. I got some good parenting advice. One of the things that has been challenging for me, frankly, is that my son and I mean, newsflash, we aren't the same biology, right? We are very different people. We process things differently. Our brains function differently. We like different things. We handle things differently. And it is a big struggle for me. And, we talk a lot about the importance of an adoption competent therapist. Well, that is a piece of advice I did not get when I was going through the process, and something I wish I did, and something I know how important these things are. And I have been searching for the right therapist for years. And what I'm finding is that sometimes you just have to jump in, and a therapist is better than no therapist or waiting until the exact right one comes along. There's a lot of different layers of issues that we are dealing with, not the least of it being my own anxiety that I suffer with. And so I just needed to pull the trigger already. So I did, and we're starting, and I'm excited about that. We deal with ADHD, which a lot of families do. A lot of children through adoption, I know, suffer with ADHD. And I always thought it was no big deal. In fact, as I'm talking, I might bring someone on to talk about that. But I always thought, it's an everybody has ADHD. I think I have ADHD, and it's no big deal. And it is a big deal. It is a big deal. Just to give you one little example, and I don't know if anyone here can relate. When I work, I need silence and I need organization. When my son works, He's laying down in bed with among chaos with the music on. And that's just one little example of how our brains function so differently. And it's really hard for me to let go of or to accept. And so that's just a really small example of why having a therapist may be a really great thing for you to have on hand. And if you can develop that relationship during your adoption journey, you're going to be that much better as you go through life with your child, because you'll have somebody who knows how it started and what you went through. So I'm just throwing that out there. So that's what's been going on with me. We just had our virtual play date with the families who adopted in the last couple months. We do this every couple months where we invite our families and their babies on a big Zoom call. Today we had like 11 families, I think, with their babies. And that was only like half of the families that we had invited. But it was amazing. We share our stories and I kind of go through what happens next, some resources, what to be thinking about as far as making sure everybody had attorneys in place for finalization, and making sure you thought about things like having a will in place, an education plan, if that's something your accountant thinks is great. Do you know about the adoption tax credit? These are all things that you need to think about right after you adopt and after you finalize, that I know I didn't think about until like 6 months or 8 months later when somebody asked me if I had a will in place. I was like, no. But then what's going to happen to my child? God forbid something ever happens to me. So these are all things that you wouldn't necessarily think of. And so I try to have this post wrap-up meeting. And I always talk about, you're just done with one phase of this whole adoption journey. You have the rest of your life. So it's really important to stay engaged and active in learning, because I'll tell you, my son's 11 and every year I have learned so much more about parenting, about the adoption process, about adoptees, so many things. So bringing home your baby, and I've said this time and time again, is not where your journey ends, but where the adventure begins. Does anybody have any questions? Has anybody had a win this week? I'm going to, if anybody wants to indulge me for a minute, I'm going to do affirmation cards. So if you're with me, if you're one of the few people that are on social, tell me when to stop and I will pick our card for the weekend. Tell me when to stop and I will use the top card. Somebody. Hi, Matza Schmal. Love it. Tell me when to stop shuffling, and that will be our affirmation card going into the weekend. Okay, Britt, thank you. Stop. My confidence improves with each passing day. My confidence improves with each passing day. And then the question on the other side asks, I am most confident when, fill in the blank. Why is this so important? So just something to think about. If you are Jewish, as I am, I want to wish you all a happy new year, a joyous new year, filled with lots of food and family and laughter and praying for all good things. This is a great time of year for the Jewish people to kind of look back and reflect over the past year. This is our Jewish New Year. And one of the things we do is eat apples and honey for a sweet new year. So I want to wish you much light and love and happy new year. And for everybody else, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. It's getting pretty cold in Cleveland right now. So fall is among us. Enjoy and peace out. Bye.